Mathematics. Chapter 12 Statistics and Probability. Lesson 6 Probability of Simple Events. Learning Objectives. Find the probability of simple events. Find the probability of the complement of an event. Keywords. Outcomes. Simple event. Probability. Sample space. And complement. Probability. When you attempt a free throw, there are two possible results: making or missing the shot. A sample event is one outcome or a collection of outcomes. The probability of an event is a ratio that compares the number of favorable outcomes to the number of possible outcomes. P event is the number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible outcomes. The probability of an event is a number between 0 and 1 that expresses the likelihood of the event occurring. The closer probability is to 1, the more likely is to occur. The possibility varies from impossible to certain. 0 represents impossible event and 1 represents certain event. As likely to happen as not is half, unlikely is quarter, and likely 3/4. Example 1. A bag contains 7 red, 2 white, and 6 blue marbles. One marble is selected without looking. Find the probability of blue, then describe the likelihood of the event. Write impossible, unlikely, equally likely, likely, or certain. There are 15 marbles in all, and 6 of them are blue. Then the probability of blue is the number of blue marbles divided by the number of marbles in all. 6 divided by 15 simplified to be 2/5. So the probability of a blue marble being chosen is 2/5, which is 40%. Because the probability is less than half, then the event is unlikely to occur. The set of possible outcomes is called the sample space. In example 1, the sample space is pink, white, and blue. When you roll a number cube, the sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Outcomes occur at random if each outcome is equally likely to occur. Example 2. Manal rolled the six-sided number cube, whose sides are numbered 1 through 6. Find the probability of Eva, then describe the likelihood of the event. Write impossible, unlikely, equally likely, likely, or certain. The sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The favorable outcomes are the even numbers, which 2, 4, and 6. These are three values, so the probability of even is the number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of possible outcomes. The number of favorable outcomes are three values divided by the total sample space, which is 6. Simplifying it to get 1/2. The probability of rolling an even number is half, or 0.5, which is 50%. Because the probability of the event is 50%, the event is equally likely to occur. Find probability of the complement. The complement of a set is the set of all objects that do not belong to the given set. Two events are complementary if one or the other must happen, but they cannot happen at the same time. For example, when you roll a number cube, the number cube must land on one even number or an odd number, but not both. The sum of the probability of an event and its complement is 1 or 100%. Vocabulary link complement. Everyday use, something that fills up or makes complement or perfect. Math use, the set of objects that do not belong to a given set. Example 3. Find the probability of not below in example 1. Then describe the likelihood of the event. Write impossible, unlikely, equally likely, likely, or certain. Selecting a blue marble and not selecting a blue marble are complementary events. So the sum of the probabilities is 1. P blue plus P not blue equals 1. It means that the probability of selecting blue and the probability of selecting not blue is 1. The sum of the probabilities is 1. We remember that probability of selecting blue was 2/5. So 2/5 plus the probability of selecting not blue equals 1. I've just replaced the probability of selecting blue with 2/5. Subtracting 2/5 from both sides isolates the probability of not blue. So the probability of not blue is 3/5 by simplification. The probability of selecting a marble that not blue is 3/5 or 60%. Because the probability of the event is greater than 50%, the event is likely to occur. Find probability of net 6 when you roll a standard number cube. Then describe the likelihood of the event. Write impossible, unlikely, equally likely, likely, or certain. Showing 6 and showing a number other than 6 are complementary events. So the sum of the probabilities is 1. The probabilities of selecting 6 plus the probabilities of not 6 is 1. We know very well that probabilities of selecting 6 is only one face, 6 occupied only one face of the number cube, so it's 1 out of 6. Then I replace the probability of selecting 6 with 1 6 and add it to the probability of not selecting 6, so the total is 1. Using the inverse operation of addition to solve this equation for the probability of not selecting 6 gives me the probability of not selecting 6. They are 6-side numbered from 1 to 6. Therefore, the probability of showing 6 is 1 6. Subtracting 1 6 from both sides gives me the probability of not 6, which is 5 6. The probability of rolling number other than 6 is 5 6 or 83.3% because the probability of the event is greater than 50%. This event is likely to occur. A bag contains 3 red tiles, 5 black tiles, and 4 white tiles. You choose a tile without looking. What is the probability that you choose a white tile? Express the probability as a function and as a percent. Then describe the likelihood of the event. Write impossible, unlikely, quasi likely, likely, or certain. B. What is the probability that you don't choose a white tile? Express the probability as a fraction and as a percent. Then describe the likelihood of the event. Write impossible, unlikely, equally likely, likely, or certain. I trust you can pause the video and try it on your own. The answer of A. The probability of an event is the number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of possible outcomes. The probability of a white tile being chosen is 4 out of 13 or 30.8%. Because the probability is less than 50%, the event is unlikely to occur. B. We know very well The probability of not event plus the probability of the event equal 1. We already have the probability of selecting white tile. So the probability of selecting not white plus the probability of selecting white equal 1. So I will substitute it with its value that we just found above. So the probability of not white plus 4 out of 13 equals 1. We will solve this equation by subtracting 4 13s from both sides to get the probability of not selecting white. The probability of not white is 1 minus 4 out of 13 equals 9 13s. Since the probability of a tile being chosen other than white tile is 9 13s or 69.2%, because this probability is more than 50%, then this event is likely to occur. Independent pracs. In a raw file, one ticket is randomly chosen from 80 tickets to receive free haircuts for a year. If Wakim enters 6 tickets, what is the probability that he is not choosing to receive the free haircuts? Receiving and not receiving haircuts are complementary events. It means that the probability of receiving haircut plus the probability of not receiving haircut is 1. We need to get the probability of receiving free haircut. So the probability of receiving is the favorable outcomes divided by the possible outcomes. The favorable outcomes here is 6 and the total possible is 80. So the probability of receiving is 6 out of 80 over 3 divided by 40. Return back to our rule to find the probability of not receiving a free haircut. 3 divided by 40 plus the probability of not receiving equals 1. So the probability of not receiving equal 1 minus 3 divided by 40. So the probability of not receiving equal 37 out of 40. The probability of not receiving free haircuts is 37 out of 40 or 92.5%. And because this probability of this event is greater than 50%, the event is likely to occur. Activity. Justify conclusions. The table shows the highest of the roller coasters at an amusement park. Nabila wants to ride just one roller coaster, so she chooses one of them at random. Is she likely to choose a roller coaster taller than 75 meters? Why or why not? Is she likely to choose a roller coaster taller than 105 meters? Why or why not? And we have here three values 103, 123, and 76. So these are 3 out of 5, which is the probability of choosing more than or taller than 75 meters, 60%. Now, because this 60% is more than 50%, then this event is likely to occur. Now we will look for the number that taller than 105. And we found only one value, which is 123. So the probability of choosing a roller coaster taller than 105 meters is 1/5, which is 20%. This is very less than 50%, so this event is unlikely to occur. The call committee consists of 4 grade 9 and 6 grade 8. How many grade 9 should be added to the committee? So the probability of choosing a student from the committee at random and choosing a grade 9 is 70%. There are 10 students in total. 4 are from grade 9 and 6 from grade 8. Probability of choosing grade 9 is 4 out of 10, which is 40%. We need to add a number of grade 9 students such that the probability of grade 9 is 70%. Let x be the number of grade 9 students that must be added to the committee. Then we can write 4 plus x. This is the number that being added to the grade 9 students, and therefore it will be added also to the total. So 4 plus x divided by 10 plus x equals 70%, and we need to solve it for x. Using cross multiplication, we can see that 70% times 10 plus x equals 4 plus x. Distributing 70%, so we'll get 4 plus x equals 70% times 10 plus 70% times x. Simplifying it to find the value of x. So 4 plus x equal 70% of 10 is 7 and 70% of x is 0.7x. We will collect x's together and numbers together. So we will get x minus 0.7x equals 7 minus 4. So 0.3x is equal 3 and x is 10. Then 10 students from grade 9 should be added to have a random probability of choosing grade 9 students at 70%. What we have learned today. We have learned that each result of an experiment is an outcome. A simple event is one outcome or a collection of outcomes. The probability of an event is number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of possible outcomes. The complement of a set is the set of all subjects that do not belong to the given set. The impossible probability is 0 and the certain probability is 1. Half is as likely to happen as not. More than half is likely, and more than 0 and less than half is unlikely. Plenary. The production records of a toy manufacturing company show that 5 out of every 75 toys have a defect. What is the probability that a randomly selected toy manufactured at the company will not have a defect? 7%, 70%, 27%, or 93.3 non-terminated percent. Now we will find the complement of 5 out of 75, which is 70 divided by 75, and I trust it's D. If Ahmed spins a spinner like one shown, what is the probability that it lands on the space with the square or the space with the triangle? Now the space of the square is half and the space of the triangle is quarter, so we just add half plus quarter is 3/4. A bag contains some tiles. Each tile has the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 written on it. The table shows the frequency of each number in the bag. You choose a tile at random, which is closest to the probability of choosing a 3. The numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the frequency that corresponded to 1 in 13, to 2, 9, to 3, 20, to 4, 8, to 5, 10, and to 6, 15. Of choosing 3 is 20 out of the total. 20 divided by 13 plus 9 plus 20 plus 8 plus 10 plus 15. So the answer is 27. It was my pleasure to be with you today and see you at the next lesson.